All right, so today's video, I want to go over this image that I created. So I made this and I posted it on my social medias a few weeks back, maybe a month ago or so. And most people understood. Some people wanted a little, to elaborate a little bit on it. Some people didn't quite understand it. And this goes along with a lot of what I say in regards to what I believe takes to be successful in trading, in day trading, or however type of trading you're doing. So, I've said this many times. Most people know that I like to say there's 3 key things you need to do to be a successful trader. It's very simplistic, a breakdown of it. It's the first thing, you need a strategy, right? You need an edge, something to tell you, hey, I see this pattern. I see this over and over, whatever it is. I know when to get in here. I know my risk, that kind of scenario. So you need that. You need a strategy, right? Number 1, strategy. Number 2, you need money management. This is huge. Can't express how big it is to have a strict money management plan, right? If your trade every day can get you $200, right? But you're losing $300, $400, $500, $1,000 in a day on your losing days, that's not going to work out. That's going to lead to spiraling out of control, losing hope, right? Because let's say, I'm trading $200 this day, $200, $200, and then I take one of those big losses. Now I'm looking at it like, man, it's going to take me 5 days, 5 trading days, 8 trading days, whatever, to get back to this, right? And that doesn't feel good, right? That doesn't feel good. We want to win, right? So we want to make money. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is having the discipline to follow that money management plan. So I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you create your money management plan? Because I have a money management plan based on how I trade, right? What's my entry? My personality. That's another video I want to do. Different trading personalities. Everybody's different, right? We have different trading styles. Some of us like to scalp, boom, take 10, 20, 50 trades a day. Some of us want a one and done. It just depends, right? Some of us trade small, some trade heavy. So there's a lot of different ways you could trade. So depending on how you trade, you need to wrap a money management plan around it. So I speak a lot. If you've watched some of my other videos, especially the discipline video. So I talk about having a plan, right? Like you got to have a valid trade. So once I have a valid trade in my book, what I call as a valid trade, right? Once you have a valid trade, test it. See the probabilities, because this trading is all about probabilities, right? It's a numbers game. It's probabilities. How do casinos make money over the long term? Because the probabilities are slightly in their favor, right? So what you need to do, this is all my opinion. I believe, though, what you need to do is find what is a valid trade setup for me. Okay? How often, let me take that setup. Whatever it is, let me take that setup. Here's my entry. Over the course of, say, 50 trades, 100 trades, a lot of trades, a good sample size, right? How many times does it go to 5 points in the profit? How often? This is what I do. So let me actually, and I wasn't even going to show this, but let me do this. I have a spreadsheet that I keep whenever I'm back testing trades. And actually, I don't even know if I could show this because I might have some personal information on there. Let's see. You know what? Okay. I don't want to delay because I'm looking for it. Okay, forget about it. So what I do is I make a spreadsheet and I have my trade set up, right? Whatever it is. And then I'll have a column that basically the column going down, it'll list 10 points profit or whatever it is. Say 5 points profit, 10 points profit. And then I'll have another column, 20 points profit, another column, 30, whatever it is. I'll have different increments of profit targets, right? And then I'll mark each trade. Okay, this one, bam, it hit 5 points. This one, it also went 10 points. It also went 20, but it did not go 30. And I do that with every single time, every single trade. And at the end of the column, at the very bottom, I'll formulate the spreadsheet. That way it'll tell me the percentage, right? It'll tell me the percentage of times total trades. So if I took 50 trades, it'll tell me what percentage of those 50 trades hit that 5 points. What percentage hit the 10 points? What percentage hit the 20 points? And then I'll know my probability. So out of 50 trades, say 40% of the time it hit 20 points. 50% of the time it hit 10, but 70% of the time it hit 5 points. Okay, now I have different breakdowns of that entry and how many times it hits those profit targets. Now, here's the flip side of it. You also have to know how much you need to risk. And to me, that's number one, right? Number one thing is you got to know how much you're risking per trade. So if I do this, I want to show this real quick because you got to know the flip side, right? So let me bring the spreadsheet over so see if I can make a little more sense as a visual here, right? Because it's easier if you visualize. So let's just say setup one, whatever it is, setup one, right? Then we have, let's say we have 5 points, right? Now we got 10 points, 20 points, 30 points, and so on, right? For profit. Let's just look at this profit. I'm just throwing this together real quick. Now let's just say risk, right? Now we're going to have another column of risk. For each of these, let's just say, and actually, it'd probably be better if we have risk of, let's just say we had risk 5, the same thing, 10, 15, 20, whatever, okay? So now let me separate this real quick. I'm just trying to throw this together really, really quick here. Just so I can give you a visualization of what I'm trying to explain. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, right, because we got to know the risk. I'm going to see how many times did this trade, this setup, go, and I'll just put like a little mark, like, yes, 5. Yes, it went 5 points on, let's just say, today's the first of the year, right? And we're going to look at every day. So, yes, it went 5. Yes, it went 10. Oops. Yes, it went 10. No. And I'm going to do that all the way down, right? For each day. And then risk. Was it okay with 5 points, with a 5 point stop? Yes. Would it have won? So basically, would it have won if I only had 5 point stop? Yes. Would it have won? And then, so like, for example, maybe the trade pulled back to 7 points. So no. But if I had a 10 point stop, it would have been okay. Right? So yes. Okay. And I do that for every single day. For a whole lot, say 25, 30, 50. The more trades you could do it for, the better. You got to go back. So then at the end, you calculate. Okay. Then you start seeing the percentages like I just said. So we'll say like for 5 point profit, it went 70% of the time it hit 5 point profit. But it needed a 10-point stop, right? So is that good? I don't know. That's up to you. 70% of the time it went 5, but you needed a 10-point stop. The risk ratio is a little bit different there. So basically what I'm trying to say here is you need to figure out your trade. Know your setup, number one. From there, know how many points or ticks, however you want to calculate it, not dollars, points or ticks. Know how many you can go for a profit side, right? Know how much you need to risk. Doing that, you're going to find, well, from there, now I know, okay, so let's say I did all this. Now I know that my particular setup, I need a 10-point risk. That's what I need to risk, put for my stop loss, 10 points. And I can shoot for 20 points. That's a 2-to-1, right? And let's just say now I know those numbers. Now I go back and back test this setup again with these numbers in mind. Okay, forget these numbers up here now. Because now I don't need to figure out what my risk is and what my profit is. Now I go, and then let's just say you want to go for occasional runners, all that. I'm not talking about that right now. You can, that's up to you later, whatever. But now I know this. So now that I know this, I'm going for 20 points with a 10-point risk. Now let's go back through all these trades again, see what the win rate is of it hitting 20 points before losing 10 points, right? Okay, great. Now we have that. Let's say now you take that percentage. And that's where this comes in, okay? So I had to kind of preface this image with that because that's very, very important. Okay, so, all right. So now we know, now if you know your win rate on your setup, now this is where the money management can come into place. This is how you need to what you need to make sure your risk reward is, because win rate, risk reward, they go hand in hand. So if I know my particular setup has, and now I'm going to explain this image, my particular setup has a 40% win rate. That means if I have a 1-to-1 ratio risk reward, so let's say I'm going for 10 points and risking 10 points. That means 1-to-1, it's not going to work if my win rate is 40%, right? I have to have a 50% win rate, and that'll be break even. So that means I have to have over a 50% win rate. It's just math. You have to have over a 50% win rate to be profitable over time. Okay? If I look and I'm like, I got a 30% win rate on this trade, but I really like it because I can see it. That's fine. You can have a 30% win rate and be profitable. But now, if you look down here, if I have a 30% win rate, what does my risk reward have to look like? Well, that means I need at least a 1-to-3. So meaning I'm risking 1 and I'm making on my profits, on my wins, triple the amount. So in this scenario, if I'm risking 10, let's just say I'm risking 10 points, that means I got to make 30 per trade, right? And that's how you put the probabilities in your favor. Because now over time, if I'm at a 30% win rate, over time, I'm going to be profitable. That's just how the numbers work. That's how numbers work. Now, the other piece to that is that you have to trade small enough to sustain the streaks. Because what do we know? It's not going to just be 10 trades and you're going to win. It's not going to be in a row, right? It's not going to be spaced out. It's not going to be win, loss, loss, win, loss, loss, win. Like, it's not how it works. If you have a 70% win rate, right? That doesn't mean you're going to win 7 in a row and lose 3. You can lose 7 in a row and win 3, right? Over 100 trades, you might get a point where you lose 15 trades in a row. We don't know when those streaks are going to come. So that's why you have to trade small enough to sustain those, to last, to not blow your account, right? And that's where my money management videos come into play. But you have to be able to sustain those periods of streaks because they happen. They happen. So that's what this is pretty simple. Most people understood what this was, but I just really wanted to break it down a little bit more because it's just numbers, and you first need to know your setup, know your win rate based on your risk reward. Now, if I would have came up with, let's say, a 40% win rate and I was doing a 1-to-1, I instantly know 40% 1-to-1, not profitable. It's not going to work, right? I got to change something. I got to figure something else out. So that's how you know what needs to be worked on. So let's say I come up with a trade that I'm doing, and have a 40%, just to keep it simple, 40% win rate, or let's just say 50% win rate. It's a 1-to-2 ratio right here, right? So meaning I'm going for 20 points with a 10-point risk, and I'm winning 50% of the time. I should be profitable, right? But let's say over time, because let's say I'm going for $100, right? $100 win, and then I have $50 loss, $50 loss, $50 loss, $100 win, $50 loss, $50 loss, $100 win, $100 win, $100 win, 50, right? Over time, you're going to be able to be profitable over time. But let's say over time, let's say over time, instead of being profitable, your balance starts going down, 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 down. Now you know, okay, that's why I'm always monitoring my win rate, all my numbers. That's why I use TradeZella as my journal. That link will be in the description. But that's why I'm always monitoring my numbers, because if my balance is going down, I'm sticking to my money management, right? My 2-to-1s, whatever it is. But my balance is going down. That means my win rate's going down. So if my win rate's going down, what's happening? Let me review my trades. Is my discipline there as far as, am I seeing the valid trades? If you watch my discipline video, I talk about tracking your valid trades, right? So am I taking valid trades? Okay, has something happened where my valid trades are just not working anymore? Has my win rate gone down? Okay, my win rate's now down to 40%, or it's down to 30%. Okay, if my win rate dropped to 30%, can I increase my profitability, my profit targets to a 3-to-1, a 1-to-3 ratio right here, right? Three times the profit that I'm risking. Can I? If it's possible, then maybe I have to do that. Or maybe I need to figure out a better setup. Maybe I need to change something, right? So that's how you know whether it's your strategy or your money management, because it's always going to be one or the other. Most of the times it's the money management because we don't follow a plan. But if you're following a plan to the T, let's say you're following your plan, your money management, it's been a month or two. You did not deviate. You didn't break rules. You did amazing with your discipline, following the rules and everything, but you're not profitable. Then I guarantee your win rate dropped. And if your win rate dropped, now you need to be doing chart reviews. You need to be looking and seeing, where did I go wrong? Is my strategy, has the market changed? Has the market been bad? What's going on? It's not you necessarily, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's what I do. It's always a constant evaluation. You should always be constantly evaluating, learning, improving. Okay. So that's really all this is. Find your win rate, know your risk reward, and that'll tell you right here how to be profitable. The lower the win rate, the higher your risk reward needs to be. The higher your win rate, the lower it needs to be, right? So that's simple. That's all it is. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I am going to have some more videos coming out. I got some things in the line, lined up that are going to be rolling out here soon. Some good stuff. As I've said before in my past videos, I'm steering more towards the mental part of trading, instead of because I haven't been going live anymore. Which, because I don't want the focus to be on how to trade, because there's many resources on how to trade, right? But to me, the most important thing is right here, the mental part. The mental part. I see too many people fail and eventually quit trading because of this. So if I can help in some way with the mental game, because I feel like I still have my days, right? We all do. But I feel like, and I know from where I started, that was the hardest thing for me to learn. And I still haven't fully overcame it, right? But I feel like I have gone from a wild, crazy trader to a pretty damn disciplined trader right now. Still have my moments, but I have came leaps and bounds, and I just want to see if I can, share a little bit of that knowledge with you all. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and trade well, everybody. Take care.